Hello, welcome back. My name is Jhay Beauty, esthetician, entrepreneur, and educator. Today we're going to talk about 7 mistakes I made throughout 7 years of being an entrepreneur. I now own a salon in Sandy Springs, Georgia, and there's so many things I've learned over the course of 7 years with this entrepreneur journey. When I started this podcast, I wanted to give people a real outlook on what it is to expect within being an entrepreneur, the great, the bad, and the ugly. Most people only talk about the good, and when they give you some bad news, it's very limited, but this stuff can get really down and dirty and dark at times. And so I want to give guys a insight on that so that when you take your journey, you will know what to expect. You will know you're not the only one going through it, and you're better able to assess how to avoid some things and what things to, go after. Now, again, everybody's journey is going to be different, but for the most part, there is some common grounds that all entrepreneurs go through, especially in the beauty industry. Number one, the first mistake I made starting out in my business was not separating business expenses from personal expenses. You want to make sure, I don't care if you think it's going to be a hobby. You get that LLC, you open a business bank account, and all of your income revenue, even if it's $20 a week, goes into that business checking account. That just shows that you're generating income. And over time, as you grow, it will show, let's say, a leasing agent, how you started, how much growth you've done, your profit, your net to income, all of that stuff. So you want to make sure that you're always depositing money into a business account and not mixing it with personal. Another mistake I made, I used to think that if I'm in a store and I'm making a business purchase, but I happen to be using my personal card, that I can just go into my online banking, Zelle, or transfer the money over to my business, make the business purchase, and everything was all good. And boy, was I wrong. Every dollar you send over to your personal business, the IRS sees it as income. Therefore, you have not paid taxes on that income. And when it comes time for taxes, you will pay taxes on that transfer. So make sure that you are always using business for business, personal for personal, no transfers, no nothing. I don't even care if you want to pay yourself. If you want to pay yourself and you're LLC not getting taxes taken out, you need to write yourself a check from your business and deposit it into your personal as a payroll. But I will say that is more tax liability doing it that way. You kind of want to make yourself a W-2, but there are certain rules you have to follow to get there too. So you want to make sure you consult with a tax professional. But I lost so much money being an LLC in a business. I did not change my business over to an S Corp until I was 6 years in. I had been making 6 figures by this point, and I am so much in tax debt. A year ago, I hired a CPA because I just didn't understand how I had so much tax debt. And I had to learn that it's all because of my business structure. Was still an LLC, and after a certain amount, which I believe is $50,000, don't quote me on it, you can change your business over to an S Corp where you file quarterly, you save on taxes, and there's more tax credits for business owners. Therefore, I am now a W-2 employee of my business. I put myself on payroll. You can do salary, you can do commission, you can do whatever you want, but there is taxes that come out of my payroll that goes directly to the IRS from my payroll company. Therefore, when taxes come up, I do not have all of those tax liabilities and I don't owe them a whole bunch of money. That is the plus when it comes to being a business owner, is being the employee of your business. You may see so many people on Instagram talking about financial freedom and blah, 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 and this, that, and the third. A lot of them, one out of two things. It's not filing taxes, especially when you have those hairstylists that's only asking for cash only. They're not reporting any income. So on paper, they're broke. And if they ever want to go get a house, cars are easy to get, but anything you need to really get that you have to show tax forms for, it's very hard for them to achieve those goals without that necessary paperwork. I have seen people get denied for salons and all type of stuff, knowing they make the money, but just because they have never filed taxes, which when you have a salon, they want to see at least 2 to 3 years of taxes. And two, if they are filing taxes, they're not having any taxes taken out monthly. So when it comes time to file taxes, they owe the IRS all of this tax debt. So you want to be wary of that and make sure you're keeping everything separate. Bookkeeping is also very important. Once you have a CPA, they do that too. But starting out, you may not be able to afford that. So I would say just get a bookkeeping software, something like QuickBooks, where your transactions automatically go into the software. It breaks it off into categories. For example, if you're at Walmart, it might break it up into supplies, or you get in gas, break that up into travel. So it breaks up into different categories so that when it's time to file your taxes, everything is already there for your CPA, bookkeeper, tax professional, whoever. I will say investing in a bookkeeper early will help you with all of this, but I can understand if you're just starting out, just get some type of software so that when tax time comes, you don't have to print out all of your statements and try to manually balance things, and it's just a headache. The software do it for you. It's 100% easier, and it's a maybe $40 a month fee. Another mistake I made was not building my business credit right away. I don't know why I did that. When you get your business and you have your EIN, that is like a social security number for your business. Immediately, you want to go and apply for your Duns & Bradstreet number. It is free. And then you want to get your NAV account. NAV, you want to get that account. And so it helps you see certain things you may qualify for. Now, if you have great personal credit, that will help leverage you for your business starting out, even if it's a credit card or whatever else you may need for your business, because nowadays a lot of people want guarantors, but it's not required for all things, especially if you've been in business for a while. You have business history and taxes, you don't really have to worry about too much of the guarantor. But since 2020 happened and I feel like banks lost a lot of money, they have been asking for a lot more guarantors that at least I've seen. Now, when I first started out, I knew that there was a such thing as business credit, but I didn't have the knowledge to understand how to get business credit. And I am still learning, so I'm not an expert on this. I did not have a lot of people that I knew that had successful businesses. Now, my dad is an entrepreneur, had his business for well over 10 years. And at the time of me starting mine, his business was very successful and financially good. And every time I would ask him, he would give me vague answers. They would be like, oh, just go get your Dun & Bradstreet number, or, oh, just go get a cell phone and your business name, and that'll help build. And which it will, but not fast enough, not where you're able to get those loans. Therefore, you need to get a credit card and build payment history. And Capital One is good for giving first-time business owners cards and stuff like that. Now, they probably will use you as a personal guarantor. And there's some other loans out there that I know, but you want to definitely build that. And again, I don't know if he just didn't know and was giving me all the information he had, but I know how hard it is to get detailed direction without a vague answer and trying to figure this shit out yourself. So make sure that once you get your numbers, you apply for something like the Capital One, I think it's called like building a business card or something, credit card. Something that can just start getting you some payment history. You want to try to avoid those, what are they called? They're like bad credit business loans. They have a lot of them, but those loans do be putting a lot of people out of business. So make sure you don't want to do those daily and weekly payments on those loans. Now, the next thing you want is to have a clear mapping business plan. I did not have that started out. Again, I thought this was going to be a hobby. I did not think too far into it, and that was a big mistake, because with a business plan, you will know your ideal clientele, what locations need your services, or areas where you are, where there are areas that's overly populated and congested that you don't want to go to. It will lay out all of those factors for you. So throughout the years, you can always refer back to it, look at where you started, look at how much revenue was supposed to be going throughout the years, and seeing if you're on track or if you're a little bit behind. Yeah, this has to be one of my biggest mistakes. And a lot of business owners do this, and I understand when you're starting out and income is low, there's not enough revenue to generate staff and help. But trying to do everything alone is going to kill your business. Many new business owners try to handle every aspect of their business themselves, but this leads to burnout. This leads to constant mistakes. And when I learned to delegate tasks and outsource things when necessary, I was able to build a reliable team. And my team is not all in this location. You know what I did? I went on Fiverr. I need a website developer. Now this person is on my team. For a cheaper amount, I pay one set fee. But anytime I need help with my website, I know who I'm going to, and I have that person on my team. I have a CPA who does all of my financial things. I pay her on a monthly basis for bookkeeping, but she's a part of my team. Therefore, I don't have to worry about taxes or state notices or anything. She is the one that is appointed to take care of all of those aspects for me. You need an assistant? There are virtual assistants out there that is a lot cheaper than hiring somebody in. Get you a virtual reception lady or a virtual assistant that you pay one fee, let's say $170 a month, and they take all of your calls and messages, and they have a Q&A to answer whatever is, always asked, or to give feedback, and to help you out a little bit, take a little bit off your back. And so delegating tasks is something that needs to be done in this beauty industry, especially. You cannot do everything alone. The reason people are so successful and so big is because they have a team and they trust their team. Another mistake of mine was overlooking the importance of customer feedback. Customers are who are going to refer you. They are free advertisement. You want to make sure you always have that customer feedback, whether it's a testimonial video or a Google review, or let's talk about that for a little bit, because I have mentored some ladies that basically told me they were told not to get Google reviews or list their business on Google because people can leave them negative reviews. Do you know how many people use Google a day? Do you know how much business you're missing just by not having your business on Google? That sounds baloney. No matter, even if you get a bad review, yes, you obviously don't want bad reviews, but that lets people know this business is real. You're not paying for the reviews, and this thing is real. One bad review ain't gonna stop no show. You need to have that Google review. So client feedback is invaluable for improving your products or services and ensuring customer satisfaction. So if you're ignoring or dismissing feedback, that can result in missed opportunities for growth and improvement. You should be asking for reviews after appointments, whether it's a QR code that's in your establishment that asks for reviews, whether it's an email that's sent out, whether it's an SMS text that's sent out. You need to have reviews. And if you have a booking software that generates reviews for you in that software, that is good, but you need those Google reviews. Google is so much bigger than any other search engine, I feel like, other than probably TikTok these days. TikTok, people using it like Google, but you want to have those reviews, and you want to have those video reviews because people are going on TikTok and researching people. So you need to show that too. Now, another mistake of mine is, if anybody know me, I am a Taurus, and so they call us bullheaded by nature. And lack of adaptability and flexibility will hurt your business every time. especially if you're in the lash industry. This industry is fairly new and it's changing every 6 months. There's always something new about lashes, a new trend, a new product. And if you're stuck in your ways and not trying things out and researching and changing, you're going to be left behind. For example, these LED UV lashes, I know that there's some people that's saying, oh, you're not supposed to put that on the eye. Do your own research. Look up reports on it, because I've looked up the UK reports on it before I even offered the LED services, and the wavelengths that's connected to certain lights versus others do not penetrate the skin. You need to do your own research and hop on this stuff now, not just listen to anybody. That's just like when classics were a big, huge thing for lash industry and volumes came in. And people was like, I'm not doing that. That's too heavy for their eyes. It's going to damage people's eyes. Those lashes are extremely thinner than a classic lash. And look how much it has blown up since 2017. Volumes is the thing. You need to be able to be flexible and adapt to change. And that was one thing that hindered me, because in the beginning, I was very stuck on classics. Therefore, I will not do volumes or learn how to do them. And I did classics for 2 years before I even took a volumes course. And then after I took the course, it probably took me another year to even offer it. And I just feel like if I would have, adapted to the change a little bit earlier, that could have helped advance my business even faster. And my last mistake as an entrepreneur is being my worst critic. We like to kind of down ourselves a lot, and we don't see the good in all the things we're doing at times. And I know that this thing gets hard. It's a lot of pressure on you. It's overwhelming, especially with your day-to-day, whether you're a wife, a girlfriend, a mom. There's so much other stuff that go on in life that you have to take care of outside of business. But you want to make sure you are congratulating yourself, because every little step is a advancement, and it's just to advance your future. For example, I was once traveling to clients, then I started working out of my home, then I got a salon suite, then I upgraded from that suite to a business office space, and I upgraded to that. Like, every little advancement is good though. And I can say I've been down in myself since I moved into a business office space before my current salon, because it wasn't perfect. It wasn't exactly what I wanted. But again, every little struggle I'm going through with all of this is still an advancement from where I came from, and it just being a hobby. Going to aesthetic school and finishing that was something in itself. Working full time and doing all of that. Like, just celebrate yourself. Celebrate your small wins. Celebrate when you get those extra 1K followers. Celebrate when you figure out a new technique or skill and you master it. Celebrate all of that, because you deserve it. And who else is going to celebrate you the way that you would? Make sure that you follow me on Instagram at JBeauty, that's JHAY, or Enhance Aesthetic, ESTETIC. I cannot wait to chat with you guys. And if you have any questions for me, anything you want me to answer on this podcast, please send them over to my email at info@enhanceaesthetic.com. Until next time, go be awesome.